Oh, welcome everybody. Welcome, welcome. We're so excited to see you all, and we are so thrilled that you're here with all of us this evening to support the most fabulous Sweet Paws Rescue. We love Sweet Paws. I grew up in their backyard, so for me, this is a special one. I'm Karen Dendy Smith. I'm the founder of the Animal Communication Collective, one of the directors. And I just wanted to say a quick hi to everyone as we get started. And I'm going to let Josie take it away from Sweet Paws and get us rolling.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Karen, and everybody here that is here from the Animal Communication Collective, but also here as supporters of Sweet Paws Rescue. So for those of you guys that aren't as familiar with Sweet Paws, we are foster-based, volunteer-based, or powered, however you'd like to phrase it, based out of Groveland, Massachusetts. But not only do we work with local animal control officers right here in Mass, we also rescue from Mississippi and Alabama, which we have other communicators here tonight and volunteers from that part or that neck of the woods as well. So one big happy family. It's nice to have these little online fundraisers and sessions that kind of can bring everybody together without too much travel involved. So I see some familiar faces, some volunteers, some fosters. So it's great to see you. And like I mentioned before, Sweet Paws Rescue out of Groveland. If you guys have any questions about Sweet Paws, for those of you that are a little bit less familiar, happy to answer any questions offline. But I just want to say thank you so much for being here and supporting this nonprofit ultimately. So as a reminder, this session tonight, right now we're doing the main event. It is recorded. It will be on the Animal Communication Collective YouTube page later for us to all check out and kind of revisit, especially they're going to go through a lot of different readings tonight. So if you missed a little bit of it or you just want to kind of relive it, it's a really great opportunity to do that. So stay tuned for that information afterwards, but it is recorded. So you guys are agreeing to be recorded. If you have any issues, again, just shoot me a message here or you have my emails. That's fine too. Please leave your cameras on for the duration of this session tonight. If you want to have an opportunity to be selected for a reading, they're going to do 6, hopefully 7, but you need to have your cameras on in order to be kind of eligible for that, so that they can really connect with you and what's going on around you as well. So for those of you guys that have purchased the after party raffle, after party entrance type of thing, for the private readings, those will be selected during that session. That link is still live. We can drop that in the chat too if you haven't already purchased tickets to the after party. And I can also resend the Zoom link for those of you guys that have, but that is not until after this main general admission event. We want to kind of focus on this for now, but the raffles will be chosen, during that after party and not during this session here. So I think that's everything on my checklist. Again, thank you so much for supporting Sweet Paws. If you're not super familiar with the organization, please do not hesitate to reach out, or sweetpawsrescue.org is our website as well. And I just want to say extra special thank you to all the communicators here tonight. We appreciate you guys for giving us your time.
Thank you, Josie. So like I said, I'm Karen Dendy Smith. I'm the founder of the ACC. And for those who don't really know who we are a collective of more than 30 professionally certified animal communicators. We all graduated from the same school and have been tested and certified to get to the point that we're at right now. We all came together to found this organization with a little help from my cat, Hockey Puck and Spirit, who kind of dumped the rough idea into my head one night. I brought it to, he's a helper animal for me. I brought the idea to all these amazing women and colleagues, and we all dove in together and put this amazing collective together back in early 2020, and have been doing events online like this for the last few years and helping rescues and sanctuaries and organizations all around the country. So this has been quite an amazing volunteer experience for all of us. We do this out of the love of our hearts for animals. Our goal is to help people understand that their animals have voices, although different language than us, we all can learn to do this. And so our job is to help bridge that gap for you and to help share your animal's voice with you, whether they're alive or in spirit. So if you're chosen, just know that you can pick an animal who is currently in the 3D or in their spirit body only. So with that, I would love to take a minute, introduce everyone, give everybody on the team a chance to say hi. Again, I'm in Boston, Massachusetts. So in the backyard, basically, of Sweet Paws. And I also have a background in Chinese energy medicine. That's what kind of brought me to animal communication. I teach Qigong. I also am a soul level intuitive coach, as well as a soul level intuitive communicator for animals, and also have been certified by UVM in their certificate program to be a companion animal end-of-life doula. So we all have a really cool bunch of different backgrounds. And so I'm just going to pass it to the next person to say hi so you can get to know us. Meredith?
Hi, everybody. I'm Meredith Tollison. I love working with Sweet Paws, and I know that they draw a lot from my neck of the woods. I'm down here in Tupelo, Mississippi. And I'm so happy to be able to come together with all of these people from all over the place at an event like this. I am, like so many of Karen's things, a soul level animal communicator, a soul level intuitive coach. I also have a background in, I'm a certified dog trainer with a focus on behavior training, although I don't actively train at this moment. I am a Let Animals Lead Reiki practitioner. I'm also a companion animal end of life doula, and apparently a great professional volunteer with the Animal Communication Collective and some of the other things that we do as a part of this work. It's a whole lot of fun, and I am pleased to be here. Thanks for having us. All right, Paula.
Hi, I'm in Rhode Island, and I am a soul level animal communicator. So a retired high school math teacher, so those two seem pretty far apart. And I spend my at the local zoo where I'm an animal handler and take out small animals and tell people about them. So, which means animal communication certainly is a good tool to have in my job. Donna?
Hi, I'm Donna Norris, and I'm coming to you from the fabulous Florida Keys. I am, in addition to being a soul level animal communicator, I'm a certified crystal healer and a Reiki master. And I just love advocating for animals and being their voice. This is my passion. So I'm so happy to be here. I love the mission of Sweet Paws, and I can't wait for this to get started. It's going to be fun.
And say hi, Tracey.
Hi, everyone. I am tech tonight, but I'm also part of the Animal Communication Collective. So similar background in terms of animal communicator. Also do dog training, and I'm an animal relationship coach. That's it. And I'm from Ontario, Canada.
Nice. And our newest member, Shay, say hi. She just graduated from the school and is part of the collective and an amazing communicator, and she will have a chance to do one of these events in the future. But tonight she's helping on tech. So hey, say hi, Shay.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Karen. I'm Shay. I'm in Los Angeles. Like she said, newest addition. Also new to the Soul Level Animal Communication certification. I started off as a professional pet sitter, and now I'm here, happy to be here.
And studying to be an animal naturopath, yes?
Yes, I always forget that part. I'm completing my degree in naturopathic animal science. Thank you.
Awesome. And I don't know that our ambassador Jody Jacobs is here, or is she? Just want to give her a shout out. I don't think she's here tonight, but she is kind of the backbone of our group who helps connect us with all these amazing shelters and rescues. Okay. So what is an animal communicator, and how does animal communication work? Just to give you a little background so you know what's happening for us when we start reading for you. The way that animal communication actually works is that we have learned how to lighten and brighten our vibration to a frequency where animals communicate all the time. If you've noticed that animals can kind of give each other a look, or they know when you're showing up at the door, when you're coming home every night, or they become friends. You'll see a dog and a deer all of a sudden being besties, and you're like, how does that happen? Or two cats that don't know each other are all of a sudden like connecting, one's inside, one's outside. That's because animals have not lost their capacity for their senses, other than what we think of as senses, their clairs. So they send pictures to each other all the time. They emit emotion that they can pick up and feel, just like they can feel the wavelengths that are happening in the environment all around them, which is why they know way before we do that there's a storm coming. So they are so sensitive to these frequencies that they use them to communicate with each other all the time. We have dulled our senses. So the work that we have done was to retrain our senses. And the way we like to explain it is like we all have stomach muscles. Some of us naturally can do 100 sit-ups. Some of us have to train to do 100 sit-ups, but everyone can learn to do a sit-up because everyone has stomach muscles. So it's the same thing with communication, and learning to use these extra senses that we have, that we call extra because we lost track of them along the way. They aren't really extra. They are part of our toolkit. And so we've learned to lighten, brighten our frequency to use them again. The way it works with the animals is we sit in presence with them and we invite them to connect. We can't ask an animal to do something they don't want to do. They have free will, and we respect them as sentient beings. And so we sit with them, we send out an invitation to connect. We can feel the energy start to connect. We share an image, we ask a question, and we allow them to decide how they're going to give it back to us. So it is a collaborative connection between us, that they choose to step up and be a part of. And in being that respectful of them, we, so far, knock on wood, knock on something, the animals have been excited to do this, because some of them are like, you can do this? You can talk to us? So it's a really cool thing to be able to get their perspective on the questions that we have for them this evening. So Meredith, what are we looking for when we start to pick people for these readings?
So here's the thing. We want as little information from you as possible on the front end. We want to be sure that the information we're receiving as animal communicators is coming directly from your animal, and that we're not being influenced in any way by a story you've told us or some background, or even the breed. All we need to know are these things. And we'll post this in the chat as we start doing readings so that you will be reminded of them. When we call on you, we'll ask you if you're comfortable for a reading. And if you do not have your camera on, we'll assume that you do not prefer to have a reading in this sort of setting tonight. But if you have your camera on and we call on you, we'll ask you if you're comfortable. If you are, we will ask you for your animal's name, their gender, their species, and that is simply cat, dog, lizard. We don't need to know tabby cat or bearded dragon. We don't need anything more specific. Whether they are alive or in spirit, and one question that you would like to ask of your animal. We like for our questions to be open-ended. What do you need me to know about? How do you feel about any of those things? Not a yes or no question, but because we really want to give the animals the opportunity to be able to share more than just a yes or no answer. If you're not really sure how to ask the question that you're trying to ask, we'll help you rephrase that. We've done this a lot of times, and we feel pretty comfortable in the way that we ask the questions of the animals. So that's all we need from you: name, gender, species, alive or in spirit, and one question. And we will be reading in pairs. We'll go back and forth and get a little information about the personality of your animal, and then a little information about your question. And that's how it'll go. If you have any questions, as you get started in your reading, feel free to just ask us super quick.
Okay. So are we ready then, Meredith? Ready to get going?
I think so, Karen. I think you and I
Right.
are starting out, aren't we?
Yes, we are. Okay, so I have been drawn, since I changed your name, Kim Ziza, to you. Would you like a reading this evening? Yeah? Okay. So let's unmute you.
Yep, I unmuted.
Wonderful. Okay, Kim. So, Kim, tell us the name of your animal.
Sky,
Say it again.
Sky, S-K-Y,
Okay. Type of animal?
cat,
Cat. Alive or in spirit?
alive,
Wonderful. Female or male?
Male.
Fabulous. And what is the thing that you want us to ask Sky for you?
How is he feeling? Like, I don't know if he sometimes feels sick, if he feels loved. Like, I want to know how he feels.
Okay. All right, Meredith, what do you think? How about if we ask Sky, what do we need to know right now for Kim about how you're feeling?
Yeah.
And leave it open to him so he can decide if it's a body situation or an emotional situation. Is that okay for you? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Excellent. All right. Just give us a second to connect in with Sky. Okay. I know, Meredith, I'm starting to move around too. I feel like I want to just like kind of move around like this as a cat when I'm connected to him in my body. And I definitely have a warmth in my system. I feel a little bit warm. Like I have a lot of I have a lot of energy in there that just I keep trying to like move through my body, and I've got like I can also feel like a little bit of extra heat in my head too. Like I'm kind of trying to move my body around to move energy through my spine and my back.
So I immediately started moving. I feel a little bit stiff, like the back of my neck and my shoulders, and I want to just like, ooh, you know how cats will get, they'll stretch all the way forward and then all the way back. I can feel the warmth too, Karen, but it feels to me like the warmth of when you've been lying on the beach in the sunshine. Not feverish warmth, more like sunbeam warmth. And I'm seeing, when I asked Guy to kind of show me a little bit about himself, he showed me a couple of visuals about his appearance that are obviously not his actual appearance, but he showed me a cat, and all of the colors around here are blue and lavender and purple. And it's like the lilac, and I can see clouds with the golden light, sunrise, sunset, or just before a storm, golden pink, just kind of under the base of the clouds. And then he shows me it looks like a ceramic cat statue, and it is painted very cartoony, bright blue sky, big fluffy white clouds, big like little kid elementary school yellow circle with orange sticks coming out representing the sun. He's definitely going with the sky theme here for me, from bright, clear, cartoony blue sky to this sheer luminescent, hazy, misty, ethereal sort of sky. Feels like two parts of his personality to me. Does that make sense to you?
It does. He can be playful, but he can also be very like wants lots of space and air and
Yeah. And from that perspective, Kim, when I was asking him, tell me a little bit more about what you want us to know about what you're feeling or how you feel. He keeps me in my forehead. Even though I want to scan his whole body, I'm feeling like a little bit of pressure in my forehead. That makes me feel like I might have a little bit of a pressure headache sometimes. And I can feel like a little tightness in the back of my head and my neck. When I ask him why he's bringing me there, I have this sense from him that maybe his upper neck is a little bit tight. I don't know if you've ever done a little massage for him or chiropractic work on a cat, or even a little acupuncture, but there's something, I feel like there might be a little block here between the skull and C1, C2 in his neck, which makes me feel a little bit of a pressure headache. The other thing that he's bringing me to is moisture. Like there may be a little bit of a need for a little extra moisture. A lot of times when we feel just slightly dehydrated, it can give us a little bit of like what feels like a tension headache. So I'd be curious how he's doing with his moisture and his diet and in his liquids as well. Does that make sense to you?
yeah, his breed type, he would have sinus and head pressure.
Interesting.
Yeah, so you know, that's why I wonder how he's feeling, because he also sometimes can get fur balls and
Mhm.
he snores. So
Yeah, it's like
I wasn't,
here.
yeah, he's a
So,
doll face. So he does
oh,
have,
okay.
Yeah, as you're saying that, I'm picturing the flat face.
Yep.
That kind of like Grumpy Cat always looks a little bit, but I also see him like I see him tensed up like this, but it's him pulling away, like dropping off a kid in the carpool line, and you're like, lean over and give mama a kiss, and the kid's like, ah, mom, not here, not in front of everybody. Um, he feels like he loves to be very, very loving, but he's like, not in front of everybody. He doesn't want everybody, all the kids at school, to
Yeah.
see it and go, oh, look, mama's boy. To that point, it also feels like he might mask a little bit of it's just a skin knee, it's fine, don't worry about me, you worry too much. A little bit of that older kid, teenage kid, get off my back, mom, you worry too much. That sort of attitude towards it sometimes. He says, I promise I'll let you know if it's anything serious. But don't worry about my skint knee, is what I'm getting from him. Oh, not here. Like he wants his band-aids to be real clear and manly and not have little, Hello Kitties on them. He's definitely trying to be a little bit tough here to me.
Yes,
with
he
that.
definitely commands his own space. He makes me feel like he likes to have a space and a zone that's just his. He's actually very sensitive to your emotions too. He's showing
really?
me. So he's very aware of how you're feeling and what's going on around him. And if he has a little bit of a headache, sometimes he will get a little aloof because the energy coming into his fields can be a little overwhelming for him. So sometimes when he's creating a little distance, it's to give himself a little energy padding from what's going on. But I have to say, it keeps bringing me back to those sinuses and the forehead here, and asking for some help to open this area up in his head. And it might help a little bit what's going on in the front, because I feel like he's been used to holding his head like this too much. And the top of his head is like, if this is the back of his head, it feels like it's clamping in on itself just slightly in the back. And that could be causing a little extra pressure here.
Okay. Is there a
Um,
special person that sees that type of thing?
Are you up north? Where are you?
I'm right next door to Groveland. I'm in Bradford,
Oh.
Massachusetts.
Oh, perfect. Well, there are a variety of veterinarians around you that you could go to. And I can just tell you really quickly, you can look up Hannah Wells, Dr. Regina Downey, Dr. Casey. All of them have chiropractic acupuncture options in their practices, as well as kind of looking at the cat as more from a holistic perspective. I feel like take a look at the litter that you're using with him too, and see if you can move to something that there isn't dust in it, because it can get clogged up in here when he breathes. So there are some newer, like Soy Kitty has a really nice litter that is biodegradable and it doesn't make any dust. So look at some good environmentally safe biodegradable litters that don't create dust, and see if that might help as well.
Yeah, thank you. We used to use yesterday's news, but they stopped making it.
There's a new one out called Soy Kitty that just came out. I talked to the owner of it. She's very nice. And that might be, I've been testing it with my cats, so I can tell you
Oh,
it works.
okay. Okay, thank you.
All right. Anything else, Meredith?
Nope,
that you
I'm good.
feel like? I think we're good. Does that help you, Kim?
It does help me a lot because
Okay,
it's
good.
really hard to take a cue when sometimes he's kind of aloof. He always wants to be in the same room, but
Right.
not mauled.
Exactly.
Awesome.
We
Toby
can
likes to
understand
maul him.
that. Well, I'm sure he's very handsome. So.
He is. He's very handsome. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kim.
And
All
I'll
right.
mute.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks. All right. Well, Paula, you ready?
Yes, I am.
I would like to know if Susan M. would like to have a reading this evening. And Susan says, yes.
Yes, thank you.
Awesome. So, what is your animal's name, Susan?
Her name is Cleo.
Cleo. She's a female. What type of animal?
A cat?
A cat. Is she alive?
No, she's in spirit.
She's in spirit. And what is the question you would like to ask of Cleo?
I just would like to know if she was happy when she was here with us. We didn't have her for very long, but I just want to make sure she was happy and she's okay. I know she's okay, but I want to make sure she was happy when she was here.
Okay. So what does she want to tell us about her time with you? Even though it sounds like it was too short. Does that sound good, Paula?
Yes, it does.
Okay. So I was going to say, give us just a moment to connect with Cleo, but Cleo is in like a shot for me. And Cleo is up in the air, cartoon cat. You know, when cartoon cat gets scared or hits the power line or whatever, you know, it's like, oh, and all the hair sticking out and all fours straight out and the great big eyes. And they're kind of like the round googly eyes on fake silly glasses. It feels like she was a force of nature in her own right, that there was constant unpredictability. I want to say surprise. I want to say startle. I'm hearing those words, but I'm also feeling like it was not necessarily a fear or anxiety based thing, but more like a hyperactivity energy based, like quick zoomies from a dead sleep to up in the air. Growing up, I had a kitten that we had grass cloth wallpaper in this great big foyer, and the cat would climb up the wallpaper to the second floor up the staircase. I can see like Cleo going from a dead sleep to actually literally climbing the walls to a different space. Was she a quick mover like that? Does that make any sense to you?
Yes, she would be, very calm and lay in your lap for hours. And all of a sudden she's just like somebody's lit a fire under her. So yes, I can take that.
I love that.
You.
And when she came in, and as soon as you started talking about that, Meredith, she came in and it's almost as if she had absolutely no desire to walk in a straight path because it was a zigzag path to see everything, and kept popping into my head, this cat's has ADHD. Because she's just interested in everything on and then oops, nope, over there. Oh, wait a minute, that looks good. Does that sound like Cleo?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, because she could be doing one thing and be distracted by some little thing, and then she forgets this and she's over here on doing something else. So yes, it does sound like her.
Yeah, she sounds like me.
Me too, for sure. But at the same time, I can see her settling just as quickly, like going from climbing the walls to she drops down to the ground and all of a sudden she's dead asleep. And you're like, how did you even do that?
Yes. And cuddling is real good.
Yes.
Yeah, you can stay a long time for cuddling. You're nodding. So yes, you understand.
Yes.
So I'm kind of asking her, I was like, how do you get from point A to point B so quickly? And she's like, A to B, good grief. I'm talking about LMNOP. Like I'm hitting every single point in the middle and then I settle on G, it's fine. It's fine. So let's ask her what we need to know about her time with you. And I hear that she appreciates that there feels like there was some level of frustration with you in the, what are you doing? Like you're asleep and now you're hanging from something, but that you also laughed through that. There was a lot of humor in it too. And you're like, look at that silly thing. How was she even? And there was a level of joy that it brought you that kept you from being able to feel frustrated that you were not controlling the situation. Does that make sense?
Yes. She decided that she wanted to sleep in one of my houseplants. And it was uncomfortable. And and I would just look at her and go, what? And then I just stopped. I'm like, oh, fine, that's your plant. No, it's okay. It's just a plant. But she was happy. So.
And that was one of the things that she absolutely adored in you, that you let her do this, and this. You didn't, you just went with it. And she has real appreciation for that.
Yeah, I feel that too. And it feels not like oh, I give up. You're just going to do what you're going to do anyway. It's more like you know what, that house plant, I love it. But if it makes you happy in the
Yeah.
grand scheme of things, what's the problem? Did you, it feels like you had an idea that she might not be with you that long,
Well,
but that you thought it might be a little bit longer than it was.
we weren't quite sure how old she was, but I didn't think she was more than 5 years old. So when you're 5 years old, I've had cats that lived to 18 or 20 years old. So to me, that was a baby. And she was only with us maybe a year, 2 years. And to me, that was just too short.
Yeah. There was a lot of
And
joy in her. There was a lot of joy in her, and she dragged some joy kicking and screaming from you in places that you did not expect to be joyful.
she was
Perhaps
silly,
letting
yes.
go of the pressure of keeping that perfect house plant. I don't know what it is, but she's like, I see her pulling a tug of war rope, and she's like, you're going to feel joy in this moment. Watch this. And made sure that you did.
Yes. Like I said, with the houseplant, that's just one thing. She was just do stuff, and it's not hurting anybody. And she was more important than the things. She was more important.
Sure.
So
Sure.
yeah,
She is just,
thank you.
She is so happy that you let her be exactly as she was with her, you know, cat version of ADHD. And how do I say this? She was happy about that, but she does wish you would be the same with yourself.
She was right there.
Just be very accepting, because you were so accepting with her, and she loved it.
I don't know
Thank
what
you.
it is
She was
about
good.
these elementary school references that are coming up tonight, but like the kid who insists on wearing the mismatched socks and the tutu and the princess crown to second grade. And, you know, some moms are out there fighting it, going, you've got to dress appropriately for school. And another mom's like, you're not hurting anything. Wear your purple tutu to math class. I don't care. She's showing me that she wants to be sure that you embrace that purple tutu from time to time and not worry so much about, or not worry at all about appearance appropriate, whatever the case may be. Mismatch your socks and wear your purple tutu sometimes, and be weird Barbie, be whatever it is, you know?
Even emotionally.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Anything else, Paula?
Thank you.
No, that last part was real important for her. And she is still with you, by the way.
Watch for the purple tutu.
Yes. Okay.
Does that
Thanks,
feel complete
ladies.
to you, Susan?
Yeah. Like I said, she was just with me for 2 years, and I was expecting her to be here longer. And she passed. It's so sudden that there was no warning. She was sleeping in the plant more, but other than that, she wasn't doing anything weird. And so when she passed, it was like I brought her to the doctor, and they had to put her down right then because she was suffering. I'm like, oh. So I just wanted to make sure that while she was here, because somebody had abandoned her, and I just thought, how could they? She's such a love. And I just wanted to make sure that she just knew she was loved here, and whatever she did was fine, within reason.
It is very sad when we lose them too soon for us.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that with us, Susan.
Thank you.
Okay.
I want to let
And-
everyone know super quick that this is your last chance, the course of this next reading that Paula and Donna will be doing. The link is still active. If you did not already buy a ticket to the after party and you have now decided you would like to come and hang out for a little while longer, Tracey will pop that in the chat, the link in the chat. At the end of this next reading, Paula will let you know that time's up and sales are closed. Thanks. Go ahead, Paula.
All right, Donna, are you ready?
I'm
Unmute,
ready.
yeah, there you go. And I'm wondering, Andrea DeFusco, would you be willing to have a 10-minute reading?
Yes, thank you.
Oh, wonderful. Okay. All right, just give me a moment and let's get some information. What is the name of your animal?
Maisie.
Say that again.
Maisie.
Maisie. M-A-I-S-I-E.
Maizy.
Okay. And female, I assume?
Yep.
Species, dog, cat, bird?
Dog.
Dog. And alive and living with you or passed on?
Alive.
Alive. Okay. Let's take a moment, Donna, and take a couple of deep breaths and we'll get to it. What is your question, Andrea?
So I guess I just want to know how she's feeling and what I can do to, or if there's anything to just make her happier, or that anything else that she needs from myself.
Okay, well, that's very similar to our last question. And about Donna, how about if we ask it in the form of what does Andrea need to know about how Maisie is feeling?
Yes, and what she might need.
And what she might need. Does that sound right, Andrea?
Yeah, that sounds great. Thank you.
Okay, so I need a minute. And anytime you're ready, Donna, feel free, but I'm going to take maybe a few seconds.
Okay. As Maisie comes into my space, Andrea, she's feeling very curious. She's scoping things out, sniffing things out. And she's just really kind of got a little bit of a bounce to her step, if you will. Does this make sense?
Yeah, totally.
Andrea, a dog came walking into my space and this dog was really large, like Labrador large, 80, 90 pounds. Now, this animals send me this information. Can I ask you one specific? How large is Maisie?
She's about 35 pounds.
All right. When an animal comes in for me and appears larger than they are, it has always meant either a huge personality or a very dominant dog. Dominant, not necessarily aggressive. Does that fit for Maisie?
Yeah, she definitely has a big personality. She's not very dominant. She's very submissive, but like in a good way, not like scared submissive. But she definitely has like a big personality.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
She's also got big antenna, she's very cute into you. And I feel like there's another, maybe a male, that feels like to me in the picture, that she's really dialed into what's going on with you guys and where you are. She likes to know where you are all the time. And even though she doesn't necessarily like want to be in your lap, she wants to know, and be in the room or know where you are. It's like a sentinel.
She's always, my husband probably is, and she's always following us around. We leave the room, she's there wherever we are.
Okay.
Totally shy.
Well, I'm going to start asking her the question of what do you need to know about how she's feeling and what she might need. Other than food, because she just said more treats. So we'll go other than food. Because I'm afraid, Andrea, they all tell me that.
That's her favorite. She loves food.
They all do.
She gets a lot of treats, so she's not surprised in the treat area.
Well, it's not, according to her, it's not enough. She's hungry.
I know. I went to do a body map and I immediately got rumbly tummy. So that's okay.
Yes, but I think it's a fake. Because
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah, oh
bet
yeah, it's
Andrea,
sandbagging.
I'll bet Andrea feeds Cleo.
Oh yeah, sure.
Oh. I don't know if you have a convenient place for this, but there is one thing she would really like, and that is more outdoor play with an adult. She's not specific about it having to be you, but she would like more outdoor play.
And I'm seeing exploring, like going on it down a trail through a park,
Yeah, I'm just
like-
seeing running around.
yeah, just wanting to explore.
Yeah.
Lots of great smells out in the woods and on the trails.
Mm-mm. Is there a place for you to just be outdoors with her?
Yeah, so actually it's funny because yesterday we took her for a 4 mile trail walk yesterday
Awesome.
afternoon.
Maybe
And
that's
we have a
Oh.
little beach across the street from our house. So a few times a week now, the weather's nicer too. We go across there and she'll play with the neighbors' dogs and we're out there. My husband and I are out there and stuff with her.
maybe that's why outdoor play is on her mind right now.
Yeah, this is usually about the time that she will go out there and play. So
Okay. Yeah, I feel like spring in her step, almost like she's just ready to bounce. She's ready to go. She's like, almost like my dogs get when you say the W word, like she's sitting on go.
Let me ask her what else she'd like you to know. She seems to like the noise. She seems to like noise of, it sounded like television. Are you television watchers?
really only at night, maybe a couple hours at night. Other than
That's what I'm seeing. That's what I'm seeing. She likes that. She likes that the noise. It's just different, and that's a good thing for her. So I would say she's definitely happy if you watch television for an hour or two.
Okay. Would
Yeah.
leave the TV on when we're not home type of thing?
No, it's just
don't
this is not the time to decide. I think we'll stop watching television and read instead, because she will miss the television sounds.
Okay.
Yeah.
But no, she does not need it all. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Paula. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
No, she does not need the television all day. She just likes a little bit of that noise.
Okay.
It's fun and exciting.
And I was just picking up on this feeling that she's showing me that you're constantly going from this thing to this thing to this thing to this thing. Even when you're home, it's kind of hard for you to gear down. And she would like you to spend a little more time with your feet up, taking a rest, take care of yourself a little bit.
Did we get you some information that's useful, Andrea?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much.
Okay, especially that outdoor stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's easier now that
She's
it's the weather.
Beautiful girl.
Oh, thank you.
What kind of a dog is she?
She's a mix. She's actually a Sweet Paws dog. We had her DNA tested. She's mostly pit bull and beagle, a couple other little things in there. So she's kind of interesting.
That sounds adorable. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
You're welcome. And
Karen,
I need to announce before we move on that ticket sales are closed now for the after party. Okay.
Okay. All right. So moving on, I think, Karen, it's you and me this time.
Yes, it is.
Awesome. Okay. And I have been led to Nawali. How do you pronounce your name? Nailliw.
Hi,
Would you like a reading this evening?
Yes.
Could you pronounce your name again? I'm sorry.
It's naive. It's
very
like the
nice to
W
meet you.
sounds like a V at the end.
Naive. Okay, got it. Okay. Could you give us a little bit of information about your animal, their name?
Yeah, so I want to talk to Callie, Callie.
Okay.
She's a cat
And is she
and
living or in spirit?
she's living.
Okay. All right. And I guess before we get started, could you give us a little information on the question that you have for her?
I want to know how she's feeling with, her new house and like in the family. How does she feel about the family? And maybe also how does she feel in her body if everything is okay with her?
Okay. Karen, is that making sense for you?
Yes, it is. So naive. We'll ask her a comment like what does she feels is most important for you to know about how she's feeling at this moment in the family or her body, whichever one she wants to bring forward to us. Does that sound okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So give us a
Okay.
second to just
Very good.
connect in with Kelly. Kelly.
Callie immediately comes in, like I'm zoomed in on her eyes, and she's just gazing right back into my eyes. Like she has this way of looking into you. Does this ring true for you? Like she's got very soulful gaze. And a bit of a slinky kind of walk, like a little lioness. Does this make sense? Yeah.
She does look like a little.
And when I asked Kelly to tell me a little bit about herself, I do have this elegant energy that she presents. Like if she, okay, it's very interesting. Sometimes an animal say, if I were going to go to a concert, I'd want to go to the reggae concert, or I like salsa music, but I'm feeling like I want to sit and watch a beautiful string quartet play elegant classical music calmly and peacefully in a dim room so that I can just take in the beauty of this music. And she makes me feel like she really enjoys the finer qualities of real calm and peaceful energy. And she's pointing at you and saying, and full disclosure, I know Nalise a little bit, but I've never talked to Kelly. So she's pointing at you, Nalise, as you also being very similar to her in this way, that you also have an elegance in yourself that you're kind of holding back. And so she also makes me feel like she is the kind of cat that does hold back a little bit, and but really wants you to know that she and you have this similarity about enjoying kind of the more elegant, finer things if you let yourself. Does this make sense to you?
I think so. Yeah.
And Donna, what are you picking up?
I'm as I was tuning in while you were talking, I did a little bit of what we call body mapping, where she allows me to feel in my body what she's feeling in hers. And I'm just feeling a little bit of like unease. I won't say it's like any kind of irritable gut issue, but it's in her gut area where she's just not super settled yet with her new routine. And so her eating schedule and her eating habits, maybe you're still adjusting, if that makes sense. She's still kind of getting used to the new routine.
Okay.
And to your point, Donna, she did bring me to her upper abdomen, kind of like, yeah, I'm just gonna say her upper abdomen. It feels a little constricted to me. Like there's some tension in there that she's holding, which is why
Mhm.
she wants to remind you that the calmer, more peaceful, finer things in life are better for her as well as for you. Because when things are too sharp or loud, she's not happy about disruption, is the way that she makes me feel. She'd like a smoother, calmer experience for herself and bigger boundary space, like to give her a little bit more bigger boundary space. I actually feel like there's something about her wanting some sort of a scent put around that is a calming scent. It's really interesting. Something that brings down kind of the energy in the room a little bit, almost like a lavender or something. I feel like I'm looking for something that I can, like a scent that I can take in that helps kind of ease my spirit. It's funny, she's talking about easing her spirit, and that will help ease her stomach. It's like if you could get actual dried like lavender and rosebud petals. And I know they make herb gardens for cats, but there's something about her wanting to be able to like control how much she takes in, and being able to go up to these herb garden petals and just breathe them in and take in the parts that she feels are best for her. Does this make sense to you?
Yeah, I think so. I didn't
Yeah,
have any
because
idea about her digestive issues, but that's good to know.
I think it's more of a tension. I'm not actually getting
Okay.
the burpy, throw uppy thing that I get
Uh-huh.
with
no,
cats of a gut imbalance. For me, it feels just more like some stomach tension that she would like to just loosen up a little bit with.
Okay.
from a sensory perception, perspective, I mean, in the house, she's very well acquainted now with all the smells and the scents and the sights and the habits of the household. And it's just a matter of like settling in. And I'm picking up on something like, as Karen was talking about the rose and the lavender, I picked up on something a little sweeter, like maybe a jasmine or something like that too, that she really enjoys. I would think the nature smells, things like that, if there's a way for her to be able to smell the outdoors.
Yeah, it's funny because I do have a normal size lavender bush in the backyard, and she does go in the
Ah,
backyard, so I'm gonna let her go closer to the lavender now.
Yeah, I think
good
in
deal.
general lavender is safe for cats, but you can look it up just to be
I
sure.
think,
But
yeah, I think lavender oil isn't, but the
yeah,
lavender plant,
the
I think
lavender
should be
buds, the dried buds actually are okay. So maybe you take some of them and you let them dry and you crumble them up for her so she can actually have them on a pillow or a towel inside as well.
nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good idea.
Anything else, Donna, that you're picking up right now that would be helpful?
She's showing me a couple of different spots where she likes to be up sort of high, where she can kind of survey the room and keep her kingdom, so to speak. And she's still picking out a few spots, but she's got one like in the den that's sort of like off toward the side where she really enjoys that space. So if you could hold that space for her, and she's really getting into that spot.
Oh. And the last
It's
thing
like
she's
she's
saying to me is, whisper softly to me.
oh,
Just take some time to calmly take a breath and whisper softly to her. She really loves when you are very calm and present with her, and just almost in a soft sing-songy voice, just talking to her. She feels very connected to you when you do that. And really it goes back to her liking the finer things, like those gentle sound, those finer qualities of life. She really loves when you do that. And it soothes her, because your energy when you're doing something like that is calmer. So when you're in that calmer place and emitting that through your voice in a gentle way, she picks it up and takes it in almost like a little symphony.
Yeah.
Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
is very chill.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's what I've got from her today. Does that help you, Nalev, with what your
It does.
question?
Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. It was a
Yeah.
pleasure.
Thank you.
It was so sweet to meet Kelly.
Yes.
Yeah. Hey, let's see. Who is next? Paula. You ready to work with me? You have to unmute yourself.
Thank you. Yes, I am ready to work with you. And I'm wondering if Jeannie, is it Jeannie, Joseph? Jeannie is just calling out to me.
Thank you.
Pick me, pick me.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, good. All right, is it Jeannie?
Evening,
Yeah, okay.
just like the bottle. Yeah.
Okay. And what is the name of your animal?
Sophia,
Okay. Female, I assume,
female.
and species?
She's a dog.
Okay. And is she alive and living with you or passed on?
She is. As you've probably seen her walking around. Yeah.
Okay. And what is your question?
My question is, can you tell me about her peeing in the house?
Okay.
Sophia.
What can you tell me about her peeing in the house? She is peeing in the house. What can you tell me about?
So how about if we phrase, Karen, how about if we phrase this as to Sophia of what can you tell us about your reasons for peeing in the house?
Yeah. What do we need to know? Just what do we need to know
What do
about
we
it? Like,
need
what's
to know?
happening that's happening for you? Yeah. What do we need to
Okay.
know? Okay.
All right. So
Okay,
I
Sophia.
need a moment.
Yes. All right, sweet Sophia.
Well, right away, a little chihuahua just walked into this space I have pictured in my head. And I may, perhaps you remember when I was reading before, the size of who shows up is important to me. So I've got a small chihuahua. Could you tell me how, I don't want to breed or anything, but could you tell me how large Sophia is?
24 pounds.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, that's bigger, but not hugely bigger. So I'm gonna go with either a pretty good personality that can't be missed or a dominant dog. Do either of those fit?
Yes.
Okay. Well, it sounds like do both of them fit?
Yeah, definitely the personality that can't be missed. She makes an
That can't be missed. Okay.
impression.
All right. So let me,
Okay, Sophia.
Karen, I don't know if you want to add something.
So when Sophia comes in for me, she comes in one moment she kind of knows what she's doing, but in the next moment, it's a little bit foggy for her. Does this make sense to you, Jeannie?
Yeah.
Okay. I also see her like sometimes sometimes she's right there and she's sharp, and sometimes she's kind of, I feel like I have to stop and look around and remind myself, like, wait, it's kind of like, when you go into the kitchen, like to look for your phone because you know you left it in the kitchen and you're looking for it everywhere, but it's actually in your hand. And you have a lot, you know what I mean? One of those moments. I feel like I'm having one of those moments when I'm she's showing me having those kinds of moments sometimes. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
And as you were saying that, Karen, I saw her walking in. Jeannie, I have a room pictured in my head, and animals come in exactly the same route every single time, except for Sophia. who did not follow the same pattern everybody else does, every other animal does, and came in and just wandered. And she was doing that just as you, Karen, you were saying something about fog.
Yep. So she's bringing me to, she wants to answer your question as part of this. What I get from her is sometimes the peeing creeps up on her before she realizes she has to pee. And it's kind of like, oops, I feel like energetic, like physically in my body, there's like, okay, hey, older ladies, me too. When you laugh sometimes and all of a sudden you just have to pee and you didn't have to pee a minute ago, but you're laughing and then all of a sudden you have to pee. There's something about this immediacy of like, uh-oh, I gotta pee, that I didn't know I had to pee. And it catches up with her sometimes too quickly, and she's got to just go. And the sense that I get from her is that she knows that that's okay on some level, although I know you probably don't want her peeing in the house, but she also knows that, I mean, it's gonna have to be okay. And in some of this, in her, I know she's an older lady at this point. There's some of this which is sometimes we just kind of have to let go. And there is a soul level lesson in this for you around realizing like, wow, sometimes, stuff just gets ahead of us and we just kind of have to let go. And that's the stage that she's in. And it's coming at a time. There's no coincidence that this is coming at a time for her, which is her natural body just kind of having some moments like that. And you're actually coming to a place of learning how to kind of let go. Does this make sense to you?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing it as also perhaps a physical thing where she doesn't quite have the same sensitivity to when she has to go until it is too extreme, and then she can't wait. And she doesn't want to pee on herself, so she's peeing in the house on the floor or on something else, but she doesn't want to just let it get all over her. But she's just not sensing that she has to go soon enough. Have you been to the vet with her for this?
Yeah. Yeah. All thousands of dollars of tests, nothing.
Nothing. It
Yeah.
could just be getting older, and the bladder gets older, and you just don't have the sensitivity to recognize when you have to go with enough warning. They make pills for people.
Yeah.
And but I'm also getting, there could be like a little bit of an energetic block going on in her back around the signals going from the brain to the bladder. So I know sometimes chiropractic can help this open back up the flow between the brain and the bladder muscle. There's some dulling of that. And when I check her back, it feels to me like somewhere in the lower lumbar, higher sacral area, there's a stiffness in there that maybe opening that up might help bring back some of the sensitization to the brain around the bladder. But this is definitely kind of like, I feel like there's a nerve dulling down where it's just, the signal is not getting, she's not getting the signal soon enough until the bladder's so full that it's forced to give her brain a signal. That's probably why they're not finding anything, because there actually isn't anything wrong. I ask her, is there an infection? Is there a UTI? I checked the urinary tract. Like, I'm not finding anything. Like, nothing's lighting up, I guess, for me right now. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay. So, I mean, you could. helping her with like a place or space where it is okay for her to go inside. I hate to say it, but at this point in her life, maybe there's a designated area
Yeah.
that she knows
With
she
a
can just
puppy
go to.
cat, with
She has a little rug, but she doesn't always hit it exactly right.
Right. So,
but with all of this, she completely knows you're gonna love her no matter what.
mhm.
She does not feel that making this mistake is gonna lose love.
Yeah. You accept her easier than you accept imperfections in yourself, is what she says. Because they're not really imperfections, but that's how you see them. And she's telling me they're not imperfections. They just are who we are. And you accept them in her. And she wants you to accept something, maybe some things in yourself that you're not accepting so easily.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you,
Mhm.
Jeannie, for sharing her with us. She's a sweetie.
And you're right about the children.
Say that again. We're right about.
Oh,
You were right, Paula. That's
She's-
awesome. What a sweet
She's
face.
cute. She's cute.
All right. Next up is Donna and Meredith.
Meredith, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Who is it you feel drawn to today?
Do you want to pick? You want me to pick?
Well, I'm feeling drawn to James. James, would you like a reading?
Hi. Yes, thank you. Sure.
All right,
Works for
awesome.
me. Hey, James.
Hello.
So James, can you tell us a little bit about your animal?
Yes.
Perhaps start with a name and
The name is Violet,
Violet. Oh, lovely.
and she's a dog.
Okay. And is she living or in spirit?
She is living.
Wonderful. All right.
And do you have a question?
What is your
I guess I just wanted to get a sense of like how she's been feeling.
okay?
Do you mean physically or emotionally or
Either, I guess, but
all of the above?
yeah,
Okay.
thank you.
Okay. So perhaps we could ask, what is it that we need to know about how she's been feeling physically or emotionally? And let her lead.
Lovely.
Sound good, Meredith?
Sounds good to me.
Awesome. There we go. I feel a very intelligent, easygoing girl coming in. She's smart and she loves the positive feedback, from when she's doing what she knows you expect of her. Does this make sense?
Mhm.
She's very high on the praise.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But I'm also getting a little bit of sassy bossy kind of attitude. And for me, the name of an animal always immediately triggers a download of something. And in this case, as soon as you said her name, I heard, "You're turning violet, Violet." And that's from Willy Wonka. Is that from Willy Wonka? And I can't actually remember. It was Violet Beauregard. I can't actually remember all of the things that happened, but is she the one that kind of bloated and floated like a big blueberry? So I'm asking her, what are you showing me about this? Is this your personality? Is this a feeling that I need to be aware of in your body? And I got a little bit of both. Like she's a little lofty, floating above the surface like a balloon, but she's tethered to the ground like a big balloon in the Macy's parade, where it takes 6 or 8 handlers to keep it going down Fifth Avenue. So I'm getting that she's a little up in the air, tethered to the earth, but it takes a lot of effort to keep her from flying off above the skyline. And then secondly, I get a feeling in my body of feeling a little bit bloated. and a little bit like, I've got my belly's a little too big, but I'm trying to embrace it. But is it my food, or is it my personality, or is it my imagination? And sort of trying to figure some of those things out. I know that's a lot, but it comes in and I spit it out. Does any of that resonate or make sense with you with regard to her personality or her physical sensation?
It does. It does. She's had some belly issues recently, so that's sort of an interesting observation.
Okay. And then I get something about bubblegum and teeth. Going with the Willy Wonka theme, I'm getting like, I've been chewing bubblegum too long and now it's stuck in my teeth and I need to pull it out. There's a tension here in the jaw and underneath here. Like I've been chewing hard bubblegum for too long. Whatever that's worth, I'm putting it out there. Donna, what you got?
And also a little bit of that's leading to stress, not really stress headache, but kind of a tension headache. And maybe tartar on the teeth. James, I think you're muted.
Sorry, my dog just
There you
run around now.
Okay. Yeah. So is that making sense for her?
I mean, the teeth thing is, headache stuff is interesting. I don't know. Sorry about the barking. I'm not sure, but that's looking. Sure.
Yeah, I can't hear that barking. It's all good.
And in events like this, we're used to it. There's always a dog barking. There's always a cat tail walking across the screen. We just roll with it. We
Right.
actually love it. It's kind of cool how their energy comes in when a reading like this is going on.
She knew you were talking about it.
Absolutely. But I'm feeling a little bit of that sassiness now, like a little bit of that. Oh, you're talking about me? Well, let me make sure that everybody knows I'm here. You know, you can't see me, but let me make sure everybody knows I'm here. There's a little attention seeking going on here. So I'm kind of asking her what that's about. And it doesn't feel like the need to seek attention because of an illness or a physical issue or anything like that. It just feels a little sassy. Like, hey, I'm right here. What about me?
Yeah.
Did you feed me yet?
I feel like,
oh,
yeah.
You did feed me. Let me get some extra treats. There's something a little bossy sassy that I'm feeling, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, she could.
But I'm
yes or
getting
no?
that she's ready for a car ride.
She could definitely be a little sassy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
You said she's ready for a car ride, Donna?
Oh yeah, she's like ready to be the co-pilot. Yeah.
And as soon
Loves
as you
the
say
car.
that,
It's like, it's been a while. When are we going?
as soon as you say that, I see her jumping off a cliff, hang gliding, or flying a little plane. There's an adventuresome spirit about her that she would like to embrace a little bit more. And obviously she's being a little extreme with the, we're not going to go hang gliding together. Although I have seen some, you know, everything on the internet is true, right? So somebody who did actually go hang gliding with his cat recently, I'm not recommending you try that. But she's saying to me, and this feels like a message for you, if you'll allow me the privilege, step outside of your box, try something a little bit different. We've got a lot of routine. We've got, you know, a meal plan. We've got a schedule. We've got all these. What if we try a little spontaneity? What if we go run on the beach? What if we go jump off a cliff and hang glide? What if we tried something different? And I'll tell you, for my dog, that can be, his adventure could be as simple as riding with me to the drive-thru at the bank, where they all go, oh, what a cute dog, and give him a treat. She doesn't feel like she particularly cares what the adventure is, but she wants to try a new adventure. What do you think about that?
That's exactly what I was picking up on. Yeah, exactly what I was picking up on. New horizons. It's like she likes to watch the traffic go by, watch the scenery go by, and she really loves to embrace that moment with the wind in her face. She's living that. Yeah, she really loves to be outside.
Yes, we will take her on some adventures for sure then.
Good deal. But she seems really happy with her space. And, you know, you guys you're just rocking along and she's showing me like calm water on a lake. Like everything is just totally copacetic in her opinion at home.
Oh,
she's
good.
quite content, very happy.
Lovely. That's good to know. Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
Does that feel pretty
Does
complete?
that feel
That's awesome. Thank you guys very much.
Awesome.
wonderful?
Thank
Thank you
you.
for participating.
Do we have time for one more?
Okay.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you, Donna, for reading with me. So I think we will wrap up the way we started off with Karen and Meredith, if that's all right. Karen, do you want to make the
Excited.
selection or you want me to?
I want you to, Meredith.
Shelley Wilson.
I was gonna pick Shelley. I literally had your name written down, Shelley. So that is crazy. We do this all the time. Remind Melody all the time.
Shelley, do you feel good with having a reading?
I do, absolutely.
Let me flip my page. Hang on.
Okay. I'm excited. This is so fun that that's what just happened.
Okay, Shelley, who you got for us? What's your animal?
Milo, he's a dog.
Milo, male dog.
Yep.
Alive or in spirit?
In spirit.
In spirit. What is your question you'd like to ask of Milo?
He had a brain tumor and he kept having seizures and they were getting worse and worse each day. And I decided to make the decision to, I'm trying not to cry,
It's
put him
okay.
down. And but when we got to the vets, he was like running around so happy. And it just made me think like I killed him.
Oh, okay. I know why we picked
don't-
you. Okay.
Yeah, I know why we picked you. There's some healing here.
Yeah.
So you want to know if you made the right decision. You
Yeah,
want to
and
know
if he's mad at me or not.
mad at you. You want to know if he's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, please.
We hear you. We hear you. And it's okay to feel emotional. That's a very, very, very powerful
Yeah.
feeling. Was this
Yeah.
relatively, normally I don't ask this, but was this relatively recently or has it been a little while?
It's been 2 years, a little over 2 years, but he was like my soul animal, you know? I mean, he was just me. We were
Okay.
just so, I don't know. I just can't get him out of my heart, my head.
And you're not
My
supposed
destiny.
to. Karen and I were just talking about this at length, weren't we, Karen?
Yep.
That grief is a real legitimate thing.
Yeah.
And it is not a task to be dealt with or overcome. It is a process that we move through.
Right.
And so there's definitely a reason for this conversation. If you'll
Thank
give
you
us
so
just a
much.
moment,
Yeah.
we'll connect with Milo and we'll
Okay.
ask him what it is that he needs you, Shelley, to know
Okay.
about his passing and what he's helping you with now from the other side. Is that okay with you, Karen?
That sounds perfect. And Shelley, it's no coincidence that I was drawn to you and Meredith because I have an animal that passed that I had to also assist who had a brain tumor. So
As did I.
As did Meredith. So okay, you're in good company with us, knowing what you're going through and what they exhibit right before they pass like that. A lot of times, I just want to explain this because this is what the animals have told us before we go into directly what Milo wants to say to you. A lot of times, I think many of us have seen this. We decide to assist it. So first of all, he wants to correct your language because you didn't put him down, you freed him. So he wants you to know that. Okay. You didn't put him down, you didn't kill him, you freed him. A lot of times what can happen for an animal's soul and a human soul too, building up the energy to release the connection to the body, those last cords that we use to tether our souls to our bodies. Sometimes you will see an animal and a human exhibit this weird burst of energy in the days leading up to passing. It's a phenomenon that happens where the soul uses some of its life force up in order to energize the severing. So a lot of times you will see an animal like have a good best last day all of a sudden, and everybody's thinking, oh my God, we did it too early. But they know what they're doing is using up the rest of the life force to make it easier for the body, the soul to separate in the end. So yes, a lot of times there is a last hurrah. which is what you experienced with Milo, and I experienced it with my Morris as well. Just so you understand that. But he actually is showing me, he's actually showing me that the brain tumor was in the middle of his head, pushing on the front of his skull here, and actually starting to creep down near an eye. Does this make sense to you?
Yes.
And then it
very
was
much
actually
so.
getting pretty painful.
Yeah.
And you saved him from what he calls like excruciating pain, because it would have just gotten worse and worse. So you saved him from the worst of it, is what he's telling me. Even though he's telling me, even though the rest of him seemed like it could have gone on for a while, which is also such a frustrating thing when our
Yeah.
animals, every other blood test says, oh, we could go on here, but the tumor gets in the way and the pain is too much and there's no way to fix it. So this is what he was saying is, please know you saved me from excruciating pain. And he's actually really, really grateful for this.
Thank you.
And
I needed to hear that.
I agree
understand.
completely with what Karen's saying. And what I'm about to deliver to you, I'm not saying to be flippant. Milo is actually bringing this to me with a little bit of joy, a little bit of humor to, it feels like in life, he was the kind of dog who would be like, Mom, are you sad? Are you sad? Let me cheer you up. Watch this silly thing I'm about to do. I'm going to get on the couch. Oh, I fell off the couch. I'm going to like, hey, look at me. Look at me. To kind of distract you from a tunnel focus of some sort.
That was definitely him.
It was kind of his quick-witted joker habit that could pull you out of I'm not going to say a dark space, but sort of a funk. He'd like drag you in and go, hey, Mom, here I am.
That was so him.
So as he's showing me, as Karen's talking, he's showing me the old arcade video game Centipede. You know, where the centipede crawls up and crawls down. And as you're talking, Karen, about the tumor, and I can feel it kind of crawling down behind an eyeball and almost like going around an ear. He's showing me this and saying to me, this centipede was going to eat all of these magic blocks or whatever it was that video game was doing, and that there was no more room for it. You know, it's encased in this hard shell. There was no more room for it, and he'd run out of space, and he didn't want to feel the pain or like have vision and hearing, which were starting to be affected. And he's actually saying the seizures were at first involuntary, but then he sort of started welcoming them, because he's like, this is going to let Mom know, because there's no other physical representation of what's going on. I'm going to be sure. Some animals will really keep they're very stoic. They'll keep their pain, they'll keep their illness, they'll keep anything until the very last moment and then go, oh, hey, here it is. He feels like he was more, I know where this is leading, and I want to be sure this is obvious to you, so you know you're not making anything up. As I'm losing balance, as I'm losing physical control, I want to be sure you understand this is happening. There's no question about it. There's no fixing it. And I trust you to recognize this as it's going on. So it feels very deliberate to me on his part, but he is kind of showing it to me in that it's not flippant. It's just sort of a way that it feels like he had to communicate with you. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely.
And he wouldn't have wanted it to linger any longer. And those bursts, those final, like I say, it's like a scoop up, a trapeze artist, you know, grabbing the other person off of the trapeze and going, okay, I'm helping you. It's such an amazing gift that we can do for our animals to keep them from feeling that pain.
So he knows that I loved him.
100%. 100%. He says, and you also knew he had a very sexy butt, by the way.
Oh my God, stop.
Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Because he showed me, I had a sexy butt, and Mom knew it. Like he just did that.
I call him a chunk of butt.
Chunk
Yeah,
of
because
butt.
it's like this nice
Chunk of
solid
butt.
butt is going like this. He's like, it was sexy.
Yes.
It's like those little corgi butts, you know, you see on
Yeah,
Instagram.
like this nice solid, like
Little
Yeah.
bubble butt.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. That was him.
yeah.
Thank you so
Um,
much.
He says, I'm safe. I'm okay.
God, thank God.
You helped me. He's grateful for the help. There's something about a cat that's hanging out with him. I don't know who the cat is, but there's some cat hanging out with him. He wants you to know.
Molly. Molly.
Okay, and so I'm getting all these chills. No, I have companionship,
Good.
and they're both watching over you.
You guys have made me feel so much better. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're
I
so
don't know how to thank you enough.
Oh, honey, we wish we could talk with him longer, but just know he loves you, and we're so sorry
Thank
you
you.
had
And
had that
I'm so sorry
experience.
about you guys. That's too.
We understand. We really do.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome. Thank you for letting us do this with you, Shelley.
You're welcome.
Okay. All right. Well, heavy, but I think much needed ending, because so many of us we outlive our animals, and they mean so much to us, and they are our soul babies. And so, so many animals want to thank us for having the compassion to let go of what we want in order to help them to move on, to free themselves, to kind of lift their souls out of the body that just isn't working anymore. So I think that this was a beautiful message that he brought through for many of us, to know that they know this, and they're not gone. They just don't have a body to be tethered to anymore for now, until they come again. So I think this was a beautiful message. He really stepped up for a lot of us tonight. So he's a good role model, I think, for a lot of us. Thank you for sharing him.
Thank you, Shelley.
Okay. Well, with that, we're going to end the readings for this evening. We can't thank you all enough for staying and supporting each other, even though some of you didn't get your own reading. Thank you for supporting each other. That's what this is all about, is everybody coming together to support each other and the animals. So we appreciate that we could feel all the love you guys had for each other during these readings. So I'm going to hand it back over to Josie to just say a few things as we wrap up.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you to all of you guys for attending. Like Karen already mentioned, I do appreciate it. And everybody has been very supportive. I like having all the cameras on, because you guys can all see each other's reactions and kind of, really be there for each other. So I know that goes a long way. We look forward to seeing most of you in the after party. I know we did have a couple sales come through at the beginning, so I did add you guys to the list. And if you haven't gotten the Zoom information, please send me an email, but I did try to forward that along. So you should have it in your email inbox so that you guys can join us at the after party. It will be a separate link. I am sorry, Karen, I for some reason have lost my list of closing remarks, but I just want to say thank you to everybody for supporting Sweet Paws Rescue. Again, we really rely off of these kinds of fundraisers and donations, so I really, really appreciate the ladies from the Animal Communication Collective for spending your Thursday night with us and donating these readings as well. It really goes a long way. So they've also shared their social links in the chat, and I'll email it out to you guys as well. But you guys can always go to the animalcommunicationcollective.com, look at more events, or just learn more about each of the communicators here tonight, and connect with them on social media and whatnot as well. But I'll also email out those links so you guys have them directly in your inbox. But thank you so much, everyone.
And so the last thing we want to remind you of is we are going to continue to give to Sweet Paws with your help. So if you decide that you want to have a longer private reading with one of us, and you book that reading with one of us, which you can get the pathway to find each of us on the collective website. If you decide to book a reading with one of us, we will be giving back 15% of that reading back to Sweet Paws through the end of, what do we say? Well, through
July 15th.
July 15th. So as long as you book your reading before July 15th, even if the reading is beyond that date, we will keep track of it and we'll be donating 15% back to Sweet Paws as part of a thank you for you guys all coming tonight. So just know that as well. And so I think that wraps up the event for this evening. Meredith, any last thing you can think of that we've got to share?
No, thank you so
Okay.
much. And thank you, Josie, for reaching out. If you're attending the after party, give it just a few minutes and jump into
Yep.
the link that you should have been sent.
Yep.
If you're not, we hope to have you next time. And we hope we'll be supporting Sweet Paws. Thank you to everyone for being here with us tonight.
And we will see you in a few minutes. Bye-bye, everyone.